Well, what's the crack, everybody? How are you getting on? Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's the 17th of March, of course it is, if I have to talk about St. Patrick's Day. It's the 17th. Yeah, what's the fucking point? We're not on the pints. It's the middle of the fucking week. Do you know, I mean, what's going on? What's going on? I know there's people listening around the world who probably get more excited about St. Patrick's Day than Irish people do. I know it's been done to death, but for our American listeners, we do have to have, a clarification at the top of this that yes, it is not St. Patty's Day, even though to be fair to him, a shortening, like Mikey was it is Patrick. To change it to Patty is a bit of a jump, but it always has been that way, and you just better get on fucking board. A patty is a burger. So, just to get on board with it. It's a small disclaimer, but to be fair, the majority of people are going to be listening to this are going, Tom, why are you even saying it? It has to be said. I know it's been said a million times by every comedian in the fucking world that has any Irish heritage, but look, it just has to be said on the day that is Lord the Ford drink. Oh, Lord. Oh, not a bad day so far. Nice old day out there. But delighted to be back. I haven't done a Ramble Pod since fucking nearly 2 weeks. Yeah, it's the third. Since the third. This is episode 115 of the Ramble Pod. And this is just, if you're wondering, if you've only just joined, because we have been getting some new listeners in the last few weeks. If you only just joined, this is like a little jump in the middle of the week. Just say hello to you. It's Wednesday. I'll be putting these out on Wednesday. I know the profile probably says on the Oak that I put these out on Tuesdays, but because of the Tom and Jerry show, it's a nice little way to break up the week, because on Friday, of course, we have our guest with Buckshot on the flagship show. And, of course, Tom and Jerry show. If you haven't listened to that, it's on Mondays. Now, we are coming to the end of the season. We're doing the Tom and Jerry show in seasons because it's more difficult for two fellas to come together. And it's easier just to set 6. But don't worry, there won't be a gap. But we're going to have a bit of a change of gear. We're talking about it. Provided it does happen, we're going to have a bit of a change of gear for season 5 if it goes ahead. I'm saying that with tongue in cheek. It's fucking definitely going to go ahead because the crack has been fucking 90. We were up last night till fucking 12 o'clock recording the final episode. So, when you don't mind, and I actually had a couple of gigs yesterday even, and it wasn't even a thing. Just, sometimes you'd be knackered, be like, we'll put it off. When it comes to myself and McBride, we would do a podcast. And this last one, I think, is close to 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours long. So, yeah, no. And no Patreons are not with that. But the Patreons, of course, they do get it slightly early and they get the ad-free version. So, because in fairness, it's in conjunction with Jerry, I'm not making anything exclusive on it really, but the exclusivity of this is this podcast that you're listening to right now in audio form. If you're a Patreon, you'll be able to see my face, and I'll be putting up the odd bit of media and stuff and all the rest of it. But if you have the time, I know a lot of people are driving, a lot of people are working, talking to somebody the other day, Patreon Mick, he's working on his bike, so he can't be looking at me. And that's fair enough, but the content is there. I know there's a couple of boys over in the Emirates that it's a Saturday morning thing with them. How are the boys? How are you getting on? They're watching it on the big screen because it's just a Saturday morning collective where they just sit down, they watch fucking old Tom's head, either interviewing people, and now the Ramble Pod is on the telly. Well, it's on your telly. It's not on the telly. It's on the telly. Anyway, shout out to the new patrons. Shout out Aileen, Laura, and I think Neve are the latest 3. And there you go. Anybody who says that it ain't for everybody, last 3 patrons were women. So there you go. I think about 60% of patrons are actually women, which is class. Not because I'm, woke and shit, but as a class representative, that it's like, it just goes to show that everybody's normal, really. There's just a handful of fucking weirdos going, because I've been pulled on this on radio shows before, going, hey, your podcast is very mannish. And it's like, really? Have a look at the fucking demographics, because they're right up the middle, if not actually leaning the other way. And it isn't for the one to, it isn't like there's a lot of fucking gender-specific chat on this. It's just shite talk. And it turns out everybody likes shite talk. So you're all very welcome. Shout out to the legends who've actually upped their output. I didn't, this is a thing that a couple of people get back on. I didn't know you could do that. You can, of course. You can give whatever you want. You can give whatever the fuck you want. Minimum jump in is $3 hairs. I think it's $3. I'm nearly sure it's $3. I think that was the minimum that they set on it day one. But if you feel like it's worth more to you and you want to throw a few more extra bobs at it, fucking class. And a couple of boys have done that. The likes of Mick, Sean, and Brian. Legendary moves. It's class. It's class. And now we've a fucking brand new yoke coming for the fucking internet. I have 2 yokes. I have a fucking receiver that's going to fucking jump it up. And because the new house we're at the moment, you'd be fucking bragging like what kind of first world problems. The fucking place is too fucking big. I think the yoke, in fairness, the old modem, while it's very good within fucking 10 or 15 meters of it, but once you go beyond that, so Gordo sourced me out. I put it out to the millions of listeners. I put it out to the many listeners, shall we say. And loads became packed. Said, yeah, this plug-in thing worked for me. This old thing worked for me. It's grand. Now, it's just what they were doing with it is a different story, because they might be only fucking surfing to net. You know, they might be only fucking looking up Facebook or something like that. But I needed to be able to run live and clean and fucking top dollar, top of the pops, because I want to be able to run in HD. So, because why not? Why not? Do you know, if you may as well give people the best that you can, as good as you fucking can. I want to be able to stream in HD for the likes of the live podcasts and that, because throughout the summer I'm going to be doing more of the live podcasts and stuff. In that, I'm going to be doing daily ones. We'll do maybe the odd Saturday one where we'll all have a barbecue. We'll have a barbecue fucking one, because I want to do some live actual cooking with comedians, cooking with a comedian. We were talking about doing it before, myself and a couple of lads kind of tying up, but it might be difficult. But for Patreons, I'm going to have a barbecue. I know it's fucked up, isn't it? It's fucked up to be talking this way, like, but it's proven great crack. And what a couple of people have come back to me, you know, I think I've been messaged that people, it's for people that came on the live podcast early doors. If you're thinking, fuck, I can't be sticking my head in there, I don't want to be talking in front of people, leave the camera off for a while. Do you know what I mean? But people that have been, I've seen, it's beautiful to see it. The people that have been coming on, the Patreons that have been coming on, you see how much more confident they are in their storytelling by the third or fourth one, and the crack having, you know what I mean? And I know if it is amongst friends, but at the same time, it's people you possibly have never fucking met, and it's good for you. It's good for you to have to be able to publicly speak like that. And it's brilliant to see it, to see people coming on in leaps and bounds and a bit more confidence and having the crack and stuff. And feel free to throw a bit of liquor into you if you want to. But that's the plan. I want to fucking take it up a notch, and it's the Patreons that are paying for that. So Gordo, after putting it out to the many people, the different yokes that you plug in this thing, to be fair, there was people kind of toing and froing, and next thing I messaged Gordo, for the love of Jesus, who else do you message when it comes to this kind of stuff? And he went, I'll come back to you in 2 minutes. Next thing he came back to me with this fucking thing. Now they're pricey, and they look like something. They nearly look like a sort of yoke, a real contemporary snazzy house would have, you know, flowers in, but they're actually listen, I don't fucking fully know. A few people who know what they're talking about were explaining that this yoke will drive internet around the fucking house like nobody's misses, but these are the daddy. So I have to get this yoke in there. They're about 300 quid. It's the only way to fucking do it. It's the only way to do it, to keep it smooth. And if I'm going to be doing this, I can't be fucking half-arsing it, lads. We're half-arsed it for long enough, and now we're you know, we've got some serious fucking listeners now and stuff. Not serious listeners, and not that the fucking early listeners didn't matter, but what I'm saying is a serious amount of listeners. And if you want a good old shot of people on board, you have to be able to fucking support that situation. So, and like that, I want to be able to do Buckshot Sideshow. So I've gotten, to update you on that, I've gotten it all, the framework from Buckshot Sideshow. If you're wondering what that is, go to my YouTube channel and look for Buckshot Sideshow. And it is, you know, like the power of my computer and the power of my internet at the time, it kind of does the show a bit of injustice, you know, but I'm leaving it up there because there's no way I'm fucking, like a TV channel would tell you take it down and we'll use all the same material and we'll do it again. No fucking way. We'll make more fucking new material and we'll leave that there so we can see the progression. Now that we're up and fucking running with the good stuff, I brought the full framework over into the new computer. Not everything was there that I thought was there, so it'll take a little bit of work for a fucking idiot like me who doesn't fully know what he's at. Do you know? But look, like I said, and I shamed myself into it in front of you publicly the last day, I will be fucking doing it. So bit by bit, I'm starting to fucking learn. And there's just so many bollocks on YouTube going, okay, guys, so today I'm going to show you how to, and they're flying it. And you're going, I don't know what you're talking about. And I know what I specifically want, and it isn't up there. So bit by bit, I'll get it. And it's not like there's any shortage of comedians who don't want to fucking do it, because they've all seen it now at this stage and the crack is 90. So again, that's the whole reason for this. And I can only thank the Patreons. I thank anybody who really pushed, sold the podcast to anybody else or shared it to anybody else. But at least to the physical Patreons who are paying, thank you very, very much. And that's the reason behind it, is it goes straight to it. There you go. Yeah, for the Tom and Jerry Show fans, thank you very much. There's been unbelievable love for the Tom and Jerry Show. You've been fucking class, in fairness to you. Like, unbelievable reviews. I keep the reviews going, by the way, for this show too, because we're on this is 298th physical episode out. So it's 115th of the Ramble Pod, and there's whatever 170 odd of Bookshop. But for the 300 one, whether it'll be the Ramble Pod next week, for the 300 one, I'm going to put out will it be 300? Yeah, will it be 300? For the 300 one, I'm going to pick a top comment. So screen grab it, because it's hard for me to see them, because they're on loads of different, if you're in different countries, literally the Apple Podcast or wherever you, feel free to write it on whatever you want. Just review. You can just screen grab it, tag either the Buckshot Podcast on Instagram or Twitter or myself. I'll see it. Whoever in the next 2 weeks, best comment, you're going to win yourself a prize. Simple as that, lads. Simple as fucking that. And we are going to do one for the Tom and Jerry Show. And I thought of a great Tom and Jerry Show prize, even though we've no merch. Oh, fucking hell. I need to be able to, I don't know if can I modify it to a certain, to this thing I want to send out to a lucky commentator, comment creator. But it just popped into my head today, and it'd be so silly and worth every bit of effort if I can make. I think I will. I think I can get creative, or even if it's pure shite, it'll be a bit of an old laugh anyway, because people like an old silly old prize regardless. Fuck it. I mean, so we're going to do. What date are we? Let me just check. Oh, I had the calendar open. Where's my calendar? I'm going to do a live pod on, I think, possibly the weekend of the 27th. I know Munster and Leinster are playing, but I will do. Yeah, I'm going to do a live podcast either that night, the 27th, or the 28th. We'll have a few drinkies and we'll have a chat. And the last one, I didn't even bother recording it because the crack was fucking 90 anyway, regardless. But it started off with shit holiday stories and then migrated into, as any good chinwag should, it quickly migrated into another one, which is the natural order of things, is the way people should be speaking. And we basically, it just started off with only fucking chat on holidays and shit holidays and all the rest of this and get this. Most people got the scutters in some form or another, or had some sort of injury of some sort or sickness. And then it transpired that we wanted to talk about how fucking weddings went sideways and stuff like that. So it was a glorious thing. So don't worry. I know. I think somebody was trying to get in. I think it was. I could see EM was their handle on the thing. I know, Reese, you were hoping to get on board, and it's tricky for people to get on board. But you got to pick a night. For it. So hopefully, I'm going to possibly move this one to a Saturday night. It might be easier for people if they don't have work the next day or whatever. And we'll have a fucking bit of a banter. So yeah, where was it? Oh yeah, I had done it. I actually did a gig. I think I might have said it, spoke about it in the opening. It was good. It was grand. I know some people are bigger fans of the Ramble Pod than anything else, and maybe you probably skipped through the intros at a Buckshot, which is fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. You're going, I have enough of this bollocks talking. I want to get to the actual guest. Fair enough. Big shout out to everybody who commented. People really like Paul Marsh. They fucking really like. He's hard not to like, isn't he? He's a fella that'll put you in good old form. He's always in good form. He's always, you have the bad word to say. Nobody could have a bad word to say about Paul Marsh. I mean, plenty of people could have a bad word to say about me, but then I am a controversial kind of person. No, I'm not. I'm divisive. That's probably it. I'm divisive in some circles. But if you looked at my demographics, like I talked at the top of this, I ain't that fucking divisive. If anything, I'd love to see other people's demographics when it comes to this, because if there's up the fucking middle as I am, sound skins don't matter what you are. You're a sound skin, don't fucking matter what you are. But yeah, I did the gig with Byrne and Lisa Casey. Actually, Lisa, I didn't hang around to see Jason because fuck it. Do you know what? It wasn't like a show, and he's a sound bloke, like, but it wasn't like a show. So you're literally standing in a room watching a fella perform to a camera. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't, but I saw a bit of Lisa's, and she hadn't performed in nearly 2 years, long before the pandemic, like. But in fairness, it was a medium that absolutely suited her perfect because she's very deadpan and very brilliantly weird, and it was fucking great. It was really good. Like, I mean, I'd forgotten. I always liked her stuff because it was, weird, like, and I like that. Just a bit fucking different, original. I don't care what it is, so long as it's original. And it was a medium that actually suited her because she doesn't need feedback from the audience. She doesn't. She just, you're getting it, and this is it. So actually, it was very, very funny. But I bailed, and just beforehand, and this is just popped into. I'd taken a picture of a chocolate bar that I found. Now, nobody else seems to have posted these. I really should have posted actually on my timeline rather than just putting it up in my stories. But it's a combo bar, which I never really work out. Sure, they don't. Like, I talked about this in the live pod with the gang, like, but they never work out. What it was is a combo chocolate bar. I don't know who made the chocolate. I should have looked into that, really. But it was drumsticks. Do you know the squishies? Like those the things I'm on about. Like, basically, you could eat 9,000 of these things. Like, I mean, you're essentially may as well be eating the tires off your car. That's essentially, but it's got sugar in it. So, and when you are driving, you'll fucking eat anything that's sitting on the passenger seat. Literally, you could eat a cat if it was sitting on the passenger seat. If you're going on a long enough fucking drive, just a bag of fried cats, you could eat the fucking lot of them. And I got this chocolate bar in the Topaz. No, they're not Topazes anymore. They're Circle K petrol stations. I was like, what unholy kind of a fucking union is this? But in my brain, I went, this can't be right. This don't play God. Don't play God with chocolate. What are you doing? Tato tried this a couple of years back by making a chocolate bar with Tato crisps in it. Now, don't get me wrong. There is nothing like a fucking square of dairy milk and then a fistful of Tatos. Fucking horrendous. Like, if you laid it out, if you spoke to somebody about the flavors you wanted to mix here. But it works. For some reason, it fucking works. And then they bought out they pushed the envelope too much. They tried to fucking take the effort out of people's hands. And I don't know who made their chocolate, like what kind of dog shit fucking chocolate it was, like pedigree chum flavored chocolate. It was horrendous. It just didn't work at all. If you're not going to put the effort in, lads, then there's no point fucking trying. And it's the very same thing. I left it till after the gig. I said, that'll be a nice little burst of sugar on the way home. I'm going to bail here. Good luck and thanks, everybody. And I hadn't even gotten out. It was in an industrial estate, the studio, just on, I would say, the fucking east side of Galway. And car parked right outside, jumped in, took one look at the chocolate bar. I said, I'm going to fucking eat you when we get up onto the motorway. Did I get onto the motorway? Not a fucking hope. I had that eaten by the time I'd half the bar eaten before I hit third gear coming out of that fucking estate. Are you joking me? But I actually pulled in because I was so disappointed. Now, like I said, I would eat a bag of fried cats if they're sitting on the passenger seat with a 2-hour journey ahead of me. Less, actually, these days, since moving to Tip. It's actually an hour and 45 minutes. But I would eat anything that's sitting on that passenger seat in the way of scobbles or in the way of nibbles, in the way of whatever you want to call them. Well, that fucking bar, I didn't fucking touch it. And that's ridiculous for me. I would have fucking devoured it had it been even close to being tasty. It would taste of something all right. Some ungodly combo that should have never, ever fucking happened. It was, again, they fell on their arse. Whoever's doing these combos, whatever, CRISPR, whoever you are, you weird psychopaths, stop playing God. You can't be doing that unless you're fucking going to get, I don't know, would even good chocolate have worked? But the chocolate was pants. You know what I mean? It was just sort of chocolate that wouldn't, even that shit chocolate that's on peanuts. You get the bag of peanuts from the petrol station and they've all the various ones. And every so often by accident, you'll pick up a fucking raisin or something that's covered. And that type of chocolate isn't even related to chocolate. They've just rolled that on a fucking mechanic's floor. And I'll still eat that. I fucking still eat that. But Mother of divine Jesus, drumsticks and chocolate. Drumstick squishies and chocolate. I'm going to get another one and maybe have a beer or a cup of tea or something with it just to see can I fucking spice it up some bit. But I honestly, I don't see... I get one just purely for the podcast, just to describe it more accurately, because that one, I just munched through fucking half the bar and just got pulled in before he even exits the industrial estate and just went, no, don't you... Now, I was tempted to chuck it out the window, but sure, then you've the wrapper anyway to hang on to. So I hung on to it. The old man is a chocoholic. He fucking loves chocolate. So I brought it on to him the next day. I said, have a go off that. He said, what kind of a fucking thing is this? Who did this? Like, he was half furious. He was like, relax, Bill. It's not that fun. And he was staring at it for about 2 minutes and went, all right, we'll give it a go. And to say it like that, again, another fella who'd fucking ate shite. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot. There's not a lot that we wouldn't give a go to between myself and himself, like, you know, in the way of eating. Like, you go, all right, go on. I'll fucking... It sure won't kill me with it. And he gave this thing a go, and I think the fucking hens got the rest of it. To say that he wouldn't eat it, like, he has a fucking problem when it comes to chocolate. Sam Hoore's the skinny as a fucking rake. I don't know how he does it. But to say that he wouldn't fucking touch this thing, he just looked at me and went, that's wrong. That's fucking wrong now, Tom. Well, you said it, Bill. You fucking said it. You're dead right. It's wrong. So, word of advice to anybody who gets that notion. So this is the thing. That's why it's probably not being seen that often, because nobody's driving no place. Or any place. God, my fucking English is horrendous. It's gone to the dogs altogether. You think it'd be all right because I'm doing so much talking these days, but it's... If you do come across one of those chocolate bars, and I'm guessing any of these fucking combos, I don't know, is it the one crowd is doing them? Because it really had, you know, like, no design on it either. Like, there was no... You know, and most chocolate will have their brand name stamped into it. They'll have a shape. There was real bog basic. Like, if you bought silicon molds for making chocolate off Wish, you know, and made your own chocolate at home, that's what you'd be looking at. Now, something just popped into my head this second. Would that be worth doing, I wonder? Trying to make your own Has anybody ever done that? Trying to make their own? Or I think you fuck up chocolate by remelting it, don't you? I know a lot of it, you can mix, you know, cooking chocolate and all the rest of it. Wonder, could you make your own combos? Like, what would you put into it? What would work? I know, here I am. I'm already giving out about crowds fucking messing with God's fucking work when it comes to squishies and chocolate. But at the same time, you could work down your own route, like, of normality. You know, stick a couple out fucking... What would you stick in there? You may as well go mad. You may as well go mad if you're like... I know, it's like cloning fucking sheep. Guaranteed people have been cloned for sure. CRISPR, some of them crowds in China, you joking me, for sure they've definitely cloned a few people. Rashers. I know, I actually was at a house party. I'd say house party is a very nice midday party. Might have been a child's christening or something. Was it McBride? It fucking was. I need to quiz him on this. He gave me a jar of jam that had rashers in it. Am I fucking dreaming? I'm going to text McBride this second. All right. How do I even word that to the man? No, I need to ring him over that. That's too big of a fucking thing to actually just text a man out of the blue, because he might remember that. That could have been through some crazy drugs-ridden period that he was trying or something at the time. But he definitely, there was jam. Or was it marmalade? I don't know. But he definitely gave me a jam. Did he make it or did he buy it? It had bits of rasher inside it. And weirdly, it kind of worked, I think. I don't know what you'd put it on. Like, you wouldn't put that on a fucking scone, would you? Bit of jam and fucking rashers. Wow. My brain is that's too fucking weird. I'd give it a go, though. I fucking would. These days, why not? Anyway, barbecuing with comedians. Barbecuing with this comedian, I should say. We're going to be doing it, once the weather picks up a little bit. We're going to fucking step things up a bit. Out in the garden, I've procured. Is it procured? To procure something? Or is it picure? I've just been too long sitting in this room by myself. I'm going to say procure. I've procured a fucking langer load of free, high-quality pellets So stored back at the old fella's place. He have a right set up back there in the way of an old fucking garage and stuff. So he fucking every kind of a fucking tool under the sun. I'm going to make some simple furniture, barbecue furniture. I'd throw, I don't know, so we're putting a fucking video together of how to bolt fucking furniture together. Probably not, really. I'll take a couple of photographs, but really I'm just going handy, a couple of bits and pieces together so I can actually make a bit of a bench. I suppose a bit of a worktop fucking space and whatnot, and we'll set it up, see can we get it working outdoors. And if people are up for it, fucking join the barbecue. And we'll do simple stuff. Like, I know I put up a couple of videos before of how to do it, but we'll actually do it along with each other. You know what I mean? I think it'd be worth doing. Simplistic little, look, things that I've learned how to fuck up and how to avoid the fuck ups. Simple as that. Or just watch me and we just have a fucking chat. Or would that be weird? Yeah, it'll be weird. But look, fuck it. There's people doing weirder shit right now. I mean, people, you know, there's one selling their bathwater on fucking OnlyFans, lads. You know, which was, you know, fair play. But yes, very nice people. I did a live gig to the youngsters in NUIG Galway, and they were fucking lovely. To the Law Society, very, very nice bunch of like nice, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get law societies or societies in general can be a bit of a fucking dose sometimes, but then I'm in my head I'm thinking of the, you know, Trinner's balls and stuff like that I've done for people, and sometimes, not always, and I've done some nice ones for Trinity too. But in fairness, they were all, in fairness, it's all dressed up and put in a serious effort. You know, I nearly felt bad because I wasn't in costume or whatever, like, but they were all looked the part. They were lovely. And then immediately I was able to jump out of that office and go and do the online show for the Roisin Dove, which by all accounts is very good. There's some bugs to be worked out in the system. Like, it's fucking, like, it was weird from the get-go because I couldn't hear myself back at all. Like, and I couldn't hear any reaction from people because, again, you know, you work these things out and like rehearsal. It's one thing I learned from fucking doing theatre. The one fucking thing, you cannot practice a thing enough when it's staged. Like live stand-up, get out there, do it. If you got it, that's the beauty of it. But that doesn't translate when you're putting on a performance, a show, especially over the internet. Rehearse again. You know what I mean? And I won't say lambs to slaughter. I was the first one up, and I just got handed a microphone. There you go. Now I could see monitors, which is what they're. I mean, I know monitors to most people would be a screen, but monitors in this sense were these speakers. They lie on their sides that you'll see on stages that are pointing back towards the band, and so you can hear yourself back, so you understand what everybody else is hearing. Those had to be turned off because of the reverb. It was fucking up everything. I was kind of, why didn't we fucking practice this and rehearse this 2 hours ago? Why didn't we do this? You know, and put an earpiece in. But then again, things can go weird on the night. So I couldn't hear anybody. Couldn't hear myself. The microphone may have been a fucking dildo in my hand. You know, so while it was class and it's going to be very, very cool. It's going to be very cool. Once those little bits can be worked out, but apparently like the last 30 or 40 seconds of my closer, I just went silent. And I was kind of noticing, this is actually a funny bit. This should be getting more reaction of people. But you're just people, like, you're looking at 80 or 90 people just all staring at you, like, and nobody was like tapping their ear and to tell me that, and nothing that I could have done about it either because we're caught for time, so I had to power through. And it was only the chaps on Patreon, like Dave and Tina and Anne Marie, were able to tell me that, yeah, Tom, we couldn't actually hear the last 30 seconds, minute of your bit. So, and then you just walked off. So it's like. You know, but to be fair, I buried it. You just go, that's done, grand. But it did make sense, the fact that nobody was even fucking smiling or saying goodbye, because I said goodbye to everybody and nobody said goodbye to me. So I think I froze out the last 30 seconds. But you know what? It's a very, very cool thing. Very, very cool setup. Very cool. I don't want it to be the norm, but it is going to be the norm for the next while. I want the norm to be actually talking to people, and I don't want to slip into that, but at the same time, it's fucking cool. It is very, very cool. And we before I go, like, I know it's St. Patrick's Day and everything. I'm not going to do the whole diddly day fucking St. Patrick's Day thing. And I know there's people listening around the world going, why don't you do it? Because, you know, but there's a very fucking Irish thing. Oh, so a walrus has turned up in Kerry. A big motherfucking walrus has turned up in Kerry. Apparently, it's not the first time it's happened. It has happened a bunch of times over the last 100 years. It has been recorded. It's not. No, it's probably down to fucking global warming or whatnot, and he ended up. But they did an interview with a bunch of people down in Kerry, and they're not all Michael Lee Ray kind of people. But what it is. Artie did an interview with people that had sighted him, and this first older dude, you'll see the video of this. I'm going to play it if you are watching, but he's kind of an older dude who looks probably like he's got my hair if all the middle bit was gone, and he's just standing by the edge of the beach, and he's describing what he saw and what he heard.
Suddenly I heard
Sorry, this guy is he's definitely not from Kerry. You turned this on the 6-1 news. This guy is doing.
Suddenly I heard
He could have just said it. Apparently, that's what a fucking walrus sounds like, lads. And that's what the one in Kerry sounds like. Fucking man, you could have been. So, the walrus fucking. Literally, was the walrus fucking something? That was beautiful. He did that in national television, and I love him. I love him for it. Anyway, that has been the Ramble Pod, everybody. Go visit the walrus as soon as you get an opportunity down in Kerry. Why not? What else is there to see? Fungi's gone. I bet the walrus is eating fungi. Or you could just watch the movie Walrus, which is possibly the weirdest fucking thing you would ever watch in your life. Right up there with the human centipede. But it's well worth a watch if you haven't seen it before. Just for the crack. Anyway, you know the crack. Like, comment, and share. Give us the 5-star review. If you are given one, 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be giving out a prize for the best comment. There's the Tom and Jerry show. A couple of more episodes of that coming out over the next few weeks. Other than that, if you want to become a patron, you know what to do. Look down the show notes and join the gang. Yes, and 3 different fucking people have bought merch this week, bought t-shirts. Let me know. Take a picture, tag the podcast in it, and we'll repost it. And fucking thanks very much, because again, they don't tell me who it is. But other than that, go on away, mind yourself for a few days, and I'll talk to you again on Friday. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.